Good evening, students. This is pathology for BSc Nursing second year students, chapter respiratory system. Till now, we have discussed up to emphysema. The next disease which we are going to deal is bronchitis. Bronchitis can be defined as abnormal and irreversible dilation of bronchi and bronchioles. Here, the dilation of bronchi and bronchioles both will take place, and that will be less than 2 mm in diameter. In bronchitis, we have seen the inflammation of bronchioles are there, but here in bronchitis, the dilation will take place of the bronchi and bronchioles, and that will be irreversible. That cannot be brought back to its position, and that is an abnormal growth. Developing secondary to chronic necrotizing inflammatory weakening of bronchial walls. So there will be chronic necrotizing inflammation will occur, through which the weakening of bronchial walls will also occur. Let's see now the etiopathogenesis or the causes. Mainly the cause of inflammatory destructive process in bronchitis is due to endobronchial obstruction of infection. The main cause is the endobronchial obstruction and infection. Furthermore, etiological factors will be seen in the following table will come. But the two main causes we must remember is the endobronchial obstruction because of dilation of the walls. Dilation will be the endobronchial obstruction and infection. In endobronchial obstruction will occur by foreign body, neoplasmic growth or enlarged lymph node, and infection may be secondary to local obstruction or impaired systemic defense mechanism. Other factors for etiopathogenesis can be hereditary and congenital. For example, conditions like cystic fibrosis, immotile cilia syndrome, these can cause the bronchiectasis. Then obstructions like foreign body, neoplasm, compression by enlarged hillier lymph node. So these are causing the obstructions. Then post-inflammatory scarring. It is due to the inhaled tuberculosis. The post-inflammatory scarring will take place, and post-infectious necrotizing pneumonia, viral infection. These are the conditions, and these are the etiological factors which may cause the bronchitis. These conditions are the symptoms of bronchitis only. The pathological changes which you have to see is the pathological changes grossly and microscopically. Grossly, we have seen the bronchi and bronchioles are involved, and dilation will take place. So usually involve the distal bronchi and bronchioles beyond the segmental bronchi. Means segmental bronchi beyond the distal bronchi and bronchioles are also involved in this. Pleura appears to be fibrotic. The pleural here appears to be fiber collected, as there may be obstructions and thickened adhering to chest wall. They may be thick so much and they may be attached to chest wall. Means here the fibroblastic circular borders can be seen. Honeycomb appearance in cut section. If they are cut, then they will be appearing like honeycomb. Bronchi are dilated and hypertrophied, filled with mucopurulent secretion. When mucopurulent secretions are filled, then it may cause the when there will be obstruction. So there will be enlargement of lymph node by foreign body, or some appearance of the fluid will be there. So due to that, the hypertrophy can occur due to mucopurulent secretion. Dilation of wall causes the excessive mucus secretion. The dilated airway appear as cylindrical, fusiform and circular and varicose. The dilated will appear like cylindrical, fusiform, joining at a point, and circular also, and varicose also. Microscopically, the bronchial epithelium may be normal, ulcerated or mesh or squamous metathelia. They may be normal also, or they can be ulcerated, having ulcers, or may show squamous metaplasia also. Bronchial wall may show infiltration with inflammatory cells and replacement of normal elastic tissue with fibrotic tissue. Here what will happen? Here the infiltration will be seen with inflammatory cells and replacement of normal elastic tissue with fibrotic tissue will also occur. Fibrotic bands between the bronchus and pleura are also seen. Here the fibrotic bands will also be seen between the bronchus and pleura. Clinical manifestation. The clinical manifestation include mild to severe dyspnea with slight exertion, chronic cough with foul smelling sputum. Till now we have seen the sputum as expectorant also, but no smell was described. But here the foul smell will occur, and dyspnea will be mild to severe with slight exertion also. Repeated episode of respiratory insufficiency means problem in breathing will occur repeatedly. Hemoptysis and recurrent pneumonia will also occur in bronchiectasis. Then hypoxemia includes cyanosis. Weight loss is common. Wheezing, hyperinflated or barren chest due to air trapping, muscle wasting and paused lip breathing, hypercapnia, morning headache in advanced stage. Then diagnostic methods will include ABG analysis, chest X-ray, pulmonary function studies, endocardiography, ECG, etc. ABG analysis, chest X-ray, pulmonary function studies, and electrocardiography. Now we are going to see some images related to bronchiectasis. You can see this image. Some holes are present, segments are also there, different lobes are there, and colors you can see. This is another form of obstructive lung disease known as bronchiectasis. Yeah, here also the obstruction will occur, and it occurs when there is obstruction or infection with inflammation and destruction of bronchi, so that there is permanent dilation. Means bronchi is as a whole abnormally damaged and irreversible, and bronchioles are also damaged. Once the dilated bronchi are present, so as seen here, dilated bronchi, so grossly in the mid lower portion of the lung the patient has recurrent infection. So here the bronchioles are dilated, here bronchi are dilated. So in the mid lower portion of this area, that most area will be having the infection. Most commonly the infection will occur here only, and the patient has recurrent infection because of stasis in this airway. Stasis means there will be no supply of air, so no movement of air will be towards inside or outside. That's why the recurrent infection can occur. Copious purulent sputum production with cough is typical. Means purulent sputum with production cough can be seen as a symptom here. Now you can see the closer view of that same diagram. Earlier this diagram was there. Now this section is taken and its closer view is shown here. A closer view of lung shows the focal area of dilated bronchi. This one is the like bronchioles come, so this one is the dilated bronchi, bronchial tree, dilated bronchi extending to the pleural surface. The outer surface of the lungs, covering the lungs is the pleural surface, so it will extend to the pleural surface. Here they are starting only, but When dilation will occur, so they will come here the outer surface. So they are coming here outer, and then typical of localized bronchitis, bronchiectasis. So means they are not of localized one. They can spread anywhere. Bronchiectasis tends to be localized. They can be localized with disease processes such as neoplasm and aspirated foreign bodies that block a portion of airway. Where the foreign bodies or that part of aspirated foreign bodies and neoplasm occurs that block the pathway of airway, there the bronchiectasis can be localized. So here symptoms can be the bronchiectasis is the cystic fibrosis, recurrent infection will be there. See that bronchi are dilated too much, so that it causing breakage. Bronchiectasis is seen here with dilated bronchi. The repeated episodes of inflammation can result in scarring. Scars are formed, breaking type, which has resulted in fibrous adhesion between the lobes. So when scars have occurred, so there the fibers have started being deposited. These are the fibers which are being deposited between the scars or gaps formed between the two lobes. So fibrous deposition can also take place in it between the two lobes. Adhesion means attachment. Fibrous pleura adhesion are common in person who have had past episodes of inflammation of lungs that involve the pleura. With extensive involvement, the pleural space might be obliterated. If the extensive involvement will be there, then pleural space may be obliterated or disturbed. It's a picture of bronchus only. Single bronchus, plurally it is called as bronchi. The bronchus has residual epithelium with necrotizing inflammation, means they are having the, as we have seen in emphysema only, necrotizing tissues are there, and residual epithelium will be there. So the residual epithelium with necrotizing inflammation of bronchus have bronchial destruction and inflammation, then it will extend to the adjacent lung parenchyma, and it is the characteristics of bronchiectasis. Means if the bronchiectasis occurred, so the bronchus will have residual epithelium, necrotizing inflammation, and subsequent bronchial destruction will occur, which will affect the other lung. Bronchiectasis is not a specific disease but consequence of another disease process that produces a cycle of inflammation, dilation, destruction with recurrent infection involving the bronchi. This process may be localized or diffuse. This photomicrograph, this one, shows a bronchus with increased number of chronic inflammatory cells in submucosa. Here the chronic inflammatory cells are shown inside a submucosal layer. Chronic bronchitis does not have characteristic pathologic findings but is defined clinically as a persistent productive cough for at least 3 consecutive months in at least 2 consecutive years. Most patients are smokers. Often the features of emphysema are same as well. Since chronic bronchitis and emphysema often overlap, the term COPD can be applied. So here it says that the chronic inflammation of the submucosal cell will also take place and here the cough will be produced for at least 2 consecutive years and 3 consecutive months. So up to here we have discussed. The next portion I will discuss in next class. Thank you.